Hello, everybody. How are you? This is Sunday, May 5th, and I'm so glad to see you. So, it is such a rainy day today that Mark and I were upstairs, and honest to goodness, we were falling asleep. And I thought, oh, I got to get up and go do a show. And it was just one of those rainy days that you just want to cuddle in. But I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you for joining us. And I've got some good, I had a good result on something that I had a bad result from last week. So I can't wait to show that to you. And I have been a very busy girl, and it's a busy time of year to me. I'm already starting to think, oh, I can't wait until July when we do our storm at sea class. And I don't want to rush this next month away, but it does get me just a wee bit overwhelmed. Let me try to get this necklace here under. I should have tightened it just a bit much. And I'm so easily distracted that if I keep looking in the computer and see it all wonky, it's going to bother me. So hopefully that's good enough. I get confused too cuz which way's the right way in the camera? But it is great to see all of you. I have some new pictures today for our show and tell, and I can't wait to show you that. And oh, I wish I just didn't feel like going out in the wet grass, but I have Dutch irises blooming in white and in purple. I have my clematis or clematis is still blooming like mad, even though sadly they're fading, but they are still there. So it this rain we've had the last 2 days has been perfect. So, and my butterfly weed plant is growing like a weed outside this window. I'm hoping to have some really wonderful flowers on it coming up. But the other thing too is Mark is going to get me some fence material so I can finally try to protect my little vegetable patch from the bunnies. Because last year I bought some Asiatic lilies and planted them. They came back beautifully this year, and the bunnies have chopped them down. So I'm going to enlarge the garden just enough to also include those. I don't mind sharing, but when they start eating everything, that's enough for me. So hello everybody. I watched a Jody show last night and enjoyed it, and I have the actual picture of the quilt now that she modified her Bigfoot quilt, and I think it's wonderful. So I can't wait to show you that. And let me just start off showing you. I've got something really exciting to show you. It turned out so well. But you all know that I'm making some little wedding gifts for my family members. Oh, speaking of that, I want to wish a very happy anniversary to my son and his amazing wife, Nikki. It is 7 years today that they got married, and that has been a wonderful thing for this family. So I am doing more of the. Now, why did the center dot change colors? But I'm doing more of the dot mandalas that I got these little canvases and then I'll put them on a little easel. And it's just a thank you note to them for for being there and sharing this event with us. And oh, this one did turn out pretty. Isn't that pretty? Some of them, I had to take one yesterday and scrub it clean to start again. Number one, the colors weren't. I thought about this for my grandson, and you notice it's in greens because he loves. There's a video game. Minecraft that he loves in greens. So this is what I do these when I can because there's a lot to do. So that's 4 done. I have 8 more to go. But I'll get there. I will get there. So anyway, still haven't cleaned this room. Now, today I have on the quilt stand that is called an autograph quilt. And it was made for me by the Quilt Guild, the local Quilt Guild that I founded and ran for 9 years. And it's grown so big now. They've got a new location. It's wonderful. And last I heard, Becky Young was running it and doing a great job. And it's like doubled in size. But that is an autograph quilt that I got from the members of the guild that I ran for 9 years. So there, that is that. And then I've got my watercolor quilt hanging up. I did enjoy that. I'm not sure I'm going to spend a whole lot of time doing more. I'd like to do at least another one so I can do the watercolor background and then put a silhouette of something. I'm not sure what, but it'll come to me. So, and let me see who is here. Oh, and I did put my English paper piecing block up. It wanted to be represented, but I haven't had time to do more work on it. And I haven't even thought of the red work. Sorry, red work. I'll get to it eventually. So Marsha Hunt is here today. Oh, she's got company coming. That's great. Good, good, good. One thing that I worry about is after the pandemic, we don't really entertain as much. I know Mark and I don't. So when I hear y'all have company, it's a good thing. All right, Debbie's here. Then here's our Marsha Florum, the hostess with the mostest. Marsha, did you get my thank you note in the mail? Because I was a little concerned. I snuck something in there and wrote, please hand stamp only. And I'm not sure if they paid attention to it. But okay, Alberta, Mother's Day is next Sunday. Yes, it is. But I'm glad Marsha was telling everybody Happy Mother's Day because my daughter said, Mom, can I have you for Mother's Day? And she knows I love my shows and I don't like to miss them. But the thought of spending the day planting my flower pots with my daughter is wonderful. And I'm one of these people that my birthday and Mother's Day are right within this, always within the same week. So it's kind of tricky. And when they can spend time with me, I'm there. So I hope you won't mind. But next Sunday, I'm not sure if I will do a Saturday show or a Monday show or just say, I've got too much to do. I'll skip that next Sunday. So I've already taken it out of the calendar on our group SIO site. And I'm sorry I won't be here next Sunday, but have a wonderful Mother's Day. If you're not going to do something going out, something special, close up inside, watch a good old movie, and make yourself a big bowl of popcorn and enjoy it. Spoil yourself rotten. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's right. Marsha, her son has a birthday. So that is wonderful. Oh, that's great. Let's see. And there's Joni. He is here. Lisa, love seeing you, sweetheart. I noticed you commented a couple times Thursday, and I missed it until I was off the live camera. I'm sorry. Teresa Djokovic. Hello, darling. Boy, it is so good to see you people. My happy people are here. Oh, did Lisa, you're right. Jody did such a good job. I'm in the background going, just cut it. Just cut it. You can do it. That's a great idea. Just cut it. But you know me, I tend to go, over the top. So, oh, that's great. Oh, you're funny, Teresa. Laura, how are you, hon? So good to see our Laura Ryland. I totally forgot about Textile Talks Wednesday. So I've got to go to their site and sign up. I like to sign up, register for about 4 or 5 at a time so I won't forget. My dog is stuck. Oh, yeah, she does that all the time. Blossom, where are you? Come here, Blossom. She can get herself out. Blossom, come here. There she comes. There. Oh, there she is. Come here, Blossom. Come here. Come here, say hi. Blossom just had a grooming session on Friday. Can you say hi? But she loves getting tangled up in the blanket. Let me throw it back over there for her. Wait a minute. Move over. Move over. Okay, here you go. There she goes. But thanks for telling me. But she loves getting under, and Gromit is 2/3 of the way groomed. I'm grooming him. Now, Blossom, the little one I held up, if I try to groom her, she tries to bite the clippers. So I pay. Oh, that was sweet. I pay to have her done, and Maisie, the little poodle, the tiny poodle. But Gromit, he is so laid back that I can groom him myself. Although it's a lot of work, he's like 30, 32 pounds. It's a lot of work. But anyway, I worked on him yesterday, and he was panting and stuff so much. And he's our elder statesman. So I thought, I'll give him a break. We'll go back to it. So, okay, here we go. Now, let me see. The rain in Maryland finally stopped. You had rain all weekend. We needed it. On my side yard, I had some dirt that was kind of cracked. You know how you see it like in the desert? We needed rain, let me tell you. So, okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Thank you, Laura, for my happy birthday week. I do love my week. I really, really do. So, okay. Oh, good idea for the grunge too. I was hollering it at you through the computer screen, but I don't think you could hear me. I find that when you want a background, it's usually good to go with a subtle print. And I will show you why I say that in just a couple minutes. So, Mary is here. Mary is in the house. So, and did I miss anybody? I hate the thought of missing anybody, but it is so great. Oh, Mary's tired of her rain now. She's like, all done. So, okay. Well, I did some cleaning up yesterday. I no longer need this, although I'm liable to try another one at some point. I no longer need this. I no longer need my steam machine 2, not for now. So those get put out of the way, not the way. Oh, okay, here it is. And I'm going to put away my applique. I can at least, even though I haven't finished cleaning the room, I can at least try to keep it from becoming too much worse. And now I can put away my applique mat. I love my tools. You know what? I think sometimes anymore now, notions are my favorite things to buy. Instead of fabric, I instantly go to see what kind of new tools do they have. But okay, are you ready? Are you ready to see something? Whoops. Give me one moment. I'm going. Let me get it just perfect before I show you. I want to make sure you can't see it with my camera yet. Hold on. This will let me make sure I've got it right side up. So this quilt, I've got to tell Miss Jody, it's kind of addictive, hon. And I can't believe it because I said when I did my first one, I'm not going to make a habit of this. I know Miss Jody loves these, but it's just too hard for me. It's too tough. So I was using a portable iron on it last night. So now it's nice to be able to take a full size iron to it before I hold it up. I was watching, it's so funny when I work on things, if I watch a show or a movie while I'm working on something, then every time I look at it, I think about what I was watching. So this is going to be my Midsummer Murders Dahlia. So are you ready? Here is my Dahlia. And I love how, I show you all my mistakes, but I love how I did that center of the flower. I think it came out beautifully. And I did change some of the flesh tones out that I thought were making it a wee bit too drab. But I love it now. So then I had to look up and find, what does a dahlia leaf really look like so I could try to get the dahlia leaf just right. And then I tried to do a dahlia leaf that was bending over to try to show the different possible colors from the way the light was shining on it. So that is my dahlia. And, I sometimes wonder, should I have done one with 3 flowers on it? But maybe I'll do that again. But I love the highlights, that center. What basically I did was make the center dark and then put the lighter shades, little tiny bits of lighter shades. So there it is. And I want to show you the fabric. I've got it now. Who can guess the designer of the fabric background that I've got it on? Let's see who knows me after the last 6 years. Do you know what designer fabric the background is? Put my glasses on so I can see. You got it, Laura's my winner. You got it. It is a Jenny Beyer fabric. Let me show you the back. Now, the back will just give you an idea. It's very washed out compared to the front. But what it is, it's a very dark, deep. Yes, Lisa, you got it. So there is the background when you see it up close. So it's a floral background, but it doesn't compete because it's so dark. It reads as almost black or navy. But if you're going to use a background, I like to have subtle patterns, texture, color, whatever. Oh, thank you, Miss Mary. And sadly, I just had a piece of this left big enough. But now I love this quilt. And let me tell you, so far as what's going to make this quilt come alive, it's only begun. That is considered just the color blocking stage. That's not all the fun that I'm going to add to it when I do the thread sketching on it. The thread sketching, the outline stitching, like the flowers, they're going to come alive when I take a lighter kind of a limeish green and outline every vein in them, because the veins are very prominent in dahlia blossoms. And you notice I did 3 background leaves. I try to do things in odd numbers. And so I just love it. And at first I thought, well, I gave my daughter a blue flower, my Becky daughter. I thought I should give Katie, but I love this so much I can't bear to let it go. So I think this one's going to stay with me. And then I'll have to make one for her. Or maybe I'll find something that she really loves. So she actually is going to take her own peonies from her house for the wedding party. And so I probably should do a nice, beautiful peony for her. So anyway, but I hope you like it. Um, I've been really happy with it. This will not be the last flower I make. Now, so that means our Miss Jody has created a monster here with me. I'm going to have to watch her channel. Luckily, um, we now have 24 subscribers last I checked on Miss Jody's channel. But I'm going to have to be watching because anytime that she does a quilt like this, I want to learn more. She's always been so good at when I teach one of these. She's right there saying, "Oh no, tell them this, do this." Thank goodness. Because she is the expert at this. I would never have thought of doing this without our Miss Jody. And she's held my hand the whole way since I started these things. So, yes, I love her channel. It's so cute. And her channel, Miss Juki, um, is Quilt Squirrel. Did I get it right, Jody? In fact, Jody, if you've got a link, could you post it so anyone who doesn't know? Quilt Squirrel. It is like a puzzle. It is, and it's kind of addictive. So I really like it. And I was only looking at it up close, and I had Mark hold it up, and I kind of went, oh. Because I see when I'm this close to it, I see every mistake and every questionable decision. And then when he held it up, I went, oh my God. Okay. Okay. I'll take it. I will take it. So now we're going to have the last class on this Thursday night. Oh, you don't think it'll let you post? Uh-oh. Um, so the last class is Thursday night. These allergies. Oh, this Thursday night, I'm going to try to have a lot of the quilt sketching, the thread sketching done. And so far as quilting, I'll show you that at some point later when I get it done. But the quilting's not going to make that much of a difference with this. I may cut the shape out in an extra layer of batting just to give it a little oomph. I love when they look a little bit more 3D and they stand out from the background. And so I haven't made those decisions yet, but I'm going to be pulling out all my red and my pink and my very pale, fleshy colored threads so I can thread sketch. That's going to really, and I'm not going to cover up my fabrics. I'm just going to help emphasize with the shape, give those petals some shape. And I think that will be great. And then I'm going to try to use some black thread and kind of do some outlining so each petal can be seen in its own right. Because I'm a real big fan of outlining it, not to the point of making it look cartoonish, but to give you a little more idea of where each petal is. So I'm so excited about that. I can't stand it. But I was so relieved because, remember I told you that when you're working on a quilt, they go through phases and that every quilt will have this phase where you're thinking, oh, I don't like it. It's not pretty. What in the world? Keep going. Keep messing with it. And I want to tell you something else too. I've always said people like our Jody have such a good vision. They have their own signature when they do their work. I was thinking about it when I was finishing this up because I've always felt like that's one area I kind of dropped the ball. But now I realize I do have a signature. And what I mean by that, it's a look to your work. It's the ideas to your work. And if I had to say, what is my thing? What is Deb's thing? It is, now the word just went right out of my mind. Starts with a C. It's how, somebody help me with the word if you can. It's where I cut up fabrics. Oh, I appreciate that. You're right, Jody. But it's the process of cutting up fabrics and place collage. Collage. Thank goodness here. It is being a collage quilter because even though I enjoyed this, I'm even happier. Thank you, Joni. I'm even happier when I don't even follow a pattern. I just look in my eye, cut and glue. And what doesn't work, put another one. I ended up finishing this one, adding all the little highlights and stuff just by cutting and pasting. No drawing it, no anything. So if you follow the pattern and you say, but somehow it's missing something, just grab your scissors, cut little bits, and I'll make sure to take a good photo of this so you can see what I might have added that wasn't in the pattern. But I love just looking at the picture, my inspiration photo, and then going to town with it. And so I realize if I'm going to have a legacy, it's that she just loves cutting and collaging, just kind of in random indiscriminate collaging. Speaking of that, I want to start our next Sunday project soon. And I saw this. I saw it first on Kate Jackson's the last homely house before the sea. She's in England. I saw her do it. And then she mentioned the woman that she saw it from. And I went to her website, and now I don't remember her name, but what it is, it's using scraps segregated by color so that you can kind of do a rainbow wash across the quilt. So what I'm going to want everybody to do is start gathering up all your scraps. And what we're going to do is kind of a form of crumb piecing, strip piecing. We're going to take and we're going to make blocks or triangles or circles. It's probably easier to do a square or a rectangle, maybe with a couple triangles in there. We're going to start making crumb blocks in one color, then the next color, the next color. It's warm down. It's humid down here. Let me turn on my fan, guys. But we're going to separate our colors and then start crumb piecing. And then we're going to build this quilt, and you can decide scraps can be any size, as long as you can sew them together. And I will be showing you how I'm doing that. And you'll be sewing them together. And then you're going to save all the little blocks. Then you're going to lay the blocks out based on color. Now, you can You could do Bargello designing. So you could follow colors this way. You can work from this corner down to that corner, changing as you go. But this is going to be fun, easy, no real rules. Just have fun. If you want to work on a foundation, paper, fabric, whatever, that's fine. If you want to just sew them together and build them and build them. And I would say we're probably going to build them to about 4 inches. If you want a bigger one, that's fine too. But I'm thinking if they're roughly 4 inches, you can watch the color. It runs along, it follows along with our watercolor wash that we did, where you use certain colors and you kind of gradually change into another color. But right now, I love everything rainbow. Love, love, love rainbow. But you can decide. Let's say you want to just wash between red, pink, maroon, burgundy, whatever, to orange or yellow. You decide if you want to go the whole rainbow or just part of it. People like me who tend to work with our favorite colors are going to have a lot of scraps in blues and the jewel tones. And I'm going to have to go searching for, I might have to make a couple scraps to add all the colors I want. And hey, I don't know how all of a sudden that new fabric turned into a little piece, but it's a scrap now. I can use it. So anyway, but I've got to decide when. Depends on how soon I finish this room. And if I can get this room finished, then good. If not, we'll start the end of the month when I come back from the wedding trip. So also, today is the first Sunday of the new month. So we have our UFO number, the one that I haven't finished a single UFO, but our number today is number 3. There we go. So now we have 11, 12, 2, and 3. Isn't that funny? 11, 12, and then 2 and 3. All right. So that was the 4th number chosen. And we are going to offer a gift certificate for the winner of this UFO when we finish it next January. January, somewhere around there. So anyway, let me get a drink of water. It is warm. It's just humid. This is the basement of the house. So of course it's going to be a little humid. I'll have to make sure the dehumidifier is working. Also, if you have a camper, the best advice I can give you is get a small dehumidifier, put it in the shower of the camper, and run that puppy. It'll help keep campers from getting mildewy over the long winter. That was free advice. It means you have to have it plugged in. But all right. So I finally got to take the flower off the parchment paper. And if you like making these, next time you're in the grocery store, buy a box of parchment paper. It is wonderful. Just remember that if you're going to put 2 pieces together, staple them, because glue does not work for parchment paper, nor does Scotch tape. So, all right. Let me get this fan a little closer to me. I have fans in every room. When I went through the change some years ago, I was hot all the time. So I have fans everywhere. All right. I've got something fun to show you. All right. Let me check my agenda, make sure I've got everything. All right. So I haven't worked on the English paper piecing this week. Didn't work on spring red work. We got our wedding bands in. I just wanted to tell you, the last time I got married was 47 years ago. Rings have gotten a lot more expensive. So I was surprised. But I found that you can order from Walmart some 14 karat gold traditional narrow wedding bands, because we did this time is like we don't want those big bands. We've been there, done that the last time, each of us. And but they came in 4 days. So, and we just got a ring measuring thing off the internet and we put it on our finger and it worked. So we're real tickled with that. But boy, a lot more expensive now. So anyway, let's see. Mark has his big band from before that was 14 karat. So I think we might look into selling that puppy because it's got some heft to it, let me tell you. All right, now we know that our July free class is July 15th through 19th. We're doing a storm at sea. And a lot of you are going to be finishing up your previously started storm at seas. I'm going to be finishing up mine with my 20 some fabrics that I bought instead of 4. So no wonder it hasn't been finished in 12 years. So anyway, okay. So I think now I have covered everything. And so what I'm going to do is remind you of the problem I had with last week's bowl. And if y'all remember correctly, I hadn't sewn it down as nicely, but I put it in the oven, then proceeded to try to get ready for the show. And when Mark said, honey, it's slumping, which just means this was a flat piece of the styrofoam. Well, it's not styrofoam. It's the kind of foam that people use to make cosplay um, costumes and things. And it works really good for stiffening bowls. And unfortunately, I had tried cutting these long flame-like tips for this, but we put it in a 275 oven, which is probably a little too warm because I couldn't find the directions. I know that I saw an article about this process somewhere. I have yet to find where it was. So I'm kind of winging it. So you cover it with fabric and then you sew it, down to it. You put it in the oven over top a metal bowl, and I recommend 250 and sit and watch it. But you put it in an oven, and then when your sweetie says, okay, it's slumped, you run. When he says, uh-oh, now it's smoking, you run to open all the windows in the house because you're probably getting toxic fumes. But anyway, so I just kind of cut this down going, I know I just need to throw it away. But anyway, so when I messed that one up, I thought, okay, I'm going to make another one because I'm not giving up on this. And then I found this amazing fabric that, of course, it's in my signature rainbow colors. Look at that fabric. So then, now one thing I didn't realize, it will crinkle on you. But what I did is I sewed using, I followed the inside feathers and just sewed a lot of wavy lines going with the shape that the feathers gave. So I did sewing every half inch to inch and a half all the way across this. So it was nice flat foam, easy to sew on, not a problem to sew on. So I took rayon blue thread and sewed along the shapes of the, those feathers. Then I went along the edge and did satin stitching along the edge. Before I sewed along the edge, though, I took the flat piece of foam and I cut some gentle swirls in it because I was thinking, how do I want the edge of the bowl to look like once it's made? So it was about 15 inches around, flat, with a slightly scalloped edge all the way around. So today, this morning earlier, we took and we put it on a cookie sheet and we used a metal mixing bowl and we laid it, and it was kind of mostly flat, not like this. And I sat there, I pulled up a chair and sat there and watched through the oven window. When it showed signs of starting to slump, SLUMP, that's a term that glass blowers use when they want to take a sheet of glass and have it fall into like a natural looking bowl shape. And they put a piece of glass over something that won't melt, of course, and then heat it enough that it just kind of starts to turn liquid. It goes down. So that's slumping. You can slump clay, a lot of things. So we were doing that. Mark would take it out every once in a while and test and see and try to push it down a little bit. But this way, it was slow to slump. We started at 200 and then slowly turned it up to 250. 250 seems to be the best temperature. 200, it just kind of sat there and laughed at us. So, but then, so we watched, and then he got the idea. What if you took a slightly bigger bowl and put it over top to really help it slump and to kind of predetermine how it's going to fold this? Ah, oh, it's so you know it'll still be here, you darling. So what he did is he had it. We put it on. I put it on a mixing bowl, a metal, stainless steel mixing bowl on top of a cookie sheet, and we let it sit. It was in the oven about 15 minutes, taking it very slowly because we didn't want to turn it brittle either. And then I said, what about if we take that heavy glass bowl? It's like a Corel bowl, and put it over it to kind of give it a little bit of a controlled, be in this shape. Put that on it. Then we left it in there about 10 more minutes. I was watching to see what these edges were going to do. When they got too crinkly, I thought, it's done. So then we took it out of the oven and put it up top. We let it cool till it was completely cool. And this is what we have. And if you can see, it's pretty stiff. I mean, it's still slightly flexible. I didn't want to get it brittle. But now what I'm thinking of doing is using some of the canned acrylic spray sealer and spraying it really thoroughly inside and out because I don't want the fabric to get dirty, grungy, dusty, whatever. But here is my art bowl. And yeah, and depending, I'm not sure it makes the best hat, but there it is. But I love the free form look of it. And I haven't decided if I'm going to sit it up on the bookcase or if I'm going to use it, but I'm thinking either way. And now the inside is where I fussy cut the image to get the best color. The back was just some random part of the fabric, but I really love it. I think it's really pretty. I think there are going to be a few more art bowls in my future. I could end up doing an art bowl that has beads hanging down off of this. I could do an art bowl that maybe has a gap that I weave through a hole in. I mean, the sky is the limit. You could embellish them, do different kinds of um, embroidery on them. I mean, with this foam, with this foam, it's 3 millimeter, 3 millimeter sheet foam. You can find sheets of this that are self-adhesive in the art craft store, Joann's and all that. You can order this online. And next time I'll get something wider than this, because this is just 13 inches, 12, 13 inches, 13. And I want something a little bit wider so that my bowls can be a little bit more freeform. But I really like this. It's very comfortable. It's like what they probably put in tennis shoes and things to have a little bit of and I like the feel of it. It has a real nice feel. But I'm going to be doing more of these, and I really, really like it. So tell me what you think. Do you think, and whatever fabric you want to use, however you, and at this temperature, I don't think it would melt plastic buttons. I don't think, it didn't bother the rayon thread at all. So it didn't hurt the fabric one bit. So it's just a matter of watching it. And I think 250, I think at 250, you could probably get it to slump properly in 15 minutes. But I would definitely be there to watch. I'm going to try different edge cutting shapes to see, this I wanted very much free form, but I'm going to try different shapes. I also may try to make like a rectangular vase shape. There's just, the sky's the limit with this stuff. So just a matter of checking the right price. Oh, I got an ad in my email box from Jerry's Artorama. They have these misting bottles. Oh, I need to change the water in my misting bottle. Do you see what's happening? It's near the window, so it's growing some kind of plant life that makes it green. So I will get this because I don't want to be breathing in. I'm not sure what's growing in there. But I love these spray bottles. They have an inner sac so that they have a prolonged, very fine mist. I really like these. Now, I paid $10.99 for that one. Jerry's Artorama, it's an online art shop, has them for $7.99. The only problem is this: the shipping is $7.99. So I thought, oh, when I first saw the $7.99 price, I'm going to tell my ladies. And then I went, okay, there's a little problem with that. So, but anyway, if you have other art supplies you need to order, then you've got it made. All right. I kind of think I know I'm running through the show pretty fast, but I got a lot to do, a lot on my plate. So I think we'll go to show and tell. Any questions? Dyed wool fabric, minis, and balls inside. That's a neat idea. Man-made felt. Just check and see what temperature. As long as it'll hold up, then that is good. So, oh, wouldn't that be a nice idea? So, okay. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Good. You did see you can use a blow dryer to melt it. You can also, if you have a heat gun, just be very careful because there's one temperature that it's malleable. There's another temperature when it starts to melt. When it rehardens, it's brittle. It turns gray and stinky. You want to just melt it you want to just soften it, not melt it, because melting it could mean you're releasing toxic chemicals. Use in a very well ventilated space, even outside if you can. All right. So, okay, let's do show and tell. All right. I love show and tell because y'all have some great work. Okay, let's see what we got. We turn this so I can get this nice and close. Right. All righty. Let's go to the folder. Oh, if you like nature shows, National Geographic, I think it's National Geographic Channel. One of the channels is doing, there's going to come up the Blue Planet Part 3. Oh man, Mark and I were watching Blue Planet 2 last night. It was so beautiful. I can't tell you. I just can't tell you. Let me see what I've got in this folder. No, that's old stuff. Never mind. Okay. The first one today is Miss Alberta, and she has this wonderful quilt she made for her grandson. I love it. Love, love, love it. I just realized the quilting on it looks like wood grain. How cool is that? I love, love, love it. Looks like it was in a quilt show. That's wonderful. And then let's see what the next one. I love these placemats. Wonderful, beautiful fabric. I just, fabrics can change everything, can't they? That is, whoops, that is wonderful. So thank you, Miss Alberta, for sending those. Okay, let's see. I finally had to delete our grand Galvatron's photos because my computer's only so big, but boy, it was wonderful to see her work. This is, well, let me go first to the working stage where she was working out how she was going to. This is Betty Meisner, and she had her cut pieces of fabric and she was lining them up to figure out her design for her watercolor wash. And I really love how she thought outside the box. Now, here it is completed, and look at her butterflies. I love that. It just makes you happy. And ooh, I better have Miss Joni sent me her butterfly quilt. I'm pretty sure I downloaded it. Hope I did. All right. Next is Miss Bonnie, who has been very busy. And just to let you know, she's still working on her redwork dragons and her beautiful, amazing black work on her LaFleur quilt, which we have the pattern to. Here is a larger piece that each of her new black work, her black works go into. And just to show you the scale, she put a ruler there. That's amazing. Okay, that must be the last one. Yes, it is. So, Miss Bonnie, keep up the great work, hon. That's wonderful. All right, Brenda Sharp sent us a bunch of pictures to let us know how she's doing, and we're tickled to see them. She's in Michigan, has a wonderful quilt shop, and she is a quilter for hire. So, if you want your quilts completed very professionally, let Miss Brenda Sharp know. Look at this. This is a great eagle, part of a very patriotic quilt. I love this moose. I love, love, love this moose. And then let me bring this bigger. Oh, I love her circle quilt. And I wonder if she did this when we were doing our circle shapes. where we were just taking and making strip sets and then cutting them into a circle. And that was so much fun. I love making our fabric, which is basically what it is. You're creating new fabric from scraps. Very good job. Now let me bring this bigger. These are some art quilts, landscapes that she has framed. Whoops, come on. That she has framed. This looks like a snow scene. All right. And this one, I've got a close up of this. This is a three-dimensional collage quilt. And oh, I love this one. You can see where she has done little, it looks like confetti, but I can't say for sure. And I love seeing birch trees. There is a sunset over the water with a wonderful lighthouse. I love it. Okay. Now, here, oh, look at this lake scene. Isn't that great? And I love the fabric she chose for the tree that looks like it's dying. It's all gnarly. It's really nice. Love that. And this is really cool. I love 3D quilts. There's so much interest in trying to figure out how in the world do they do this. That is wonderful. And the quilting, the lines on the quilting go two different ways. Actually, three different ways at least, maybe four. So that really adds to the optical illusion part of it. Here is that quilt I told you that was a 3D because you can see the way the grasses here stick out, and this is like confetti. So I assume she's got it covered with tulle. Ugh. Every time I do show and tell, I start yawning. I don't know why. Sorry about that, guys. And I love this eagle quilt. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'm wondering if she's going to put it in a show. It's definitely show worthy. Lovely. Okay, now let's see who's next. Debbie. I got a couple of Debbie's quilts. I love that she puts the inspiration right beside her artwork. And wow, that is really, really nice, Miss Debbie. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? And she used her fabric really well. Where she could, she let the fabric do the work for her. That's very, very nice. Okay. Then here is another. That's really interesting. Mostly rectangles. And this, oh, a modern take on a grandmother's fan. I love that. I love it. And this is very wonderful. Great use of positive and negative spaces. And that color really stands out. So thank you, Miss Debbie. And please feel free, everybody, to send me some fresh pictures so that we can share them. Now, Miss Dolores went to Paducah, and here are some pictures. I forgot I should go to her blog and download more. I'll try to do that this week. But isn't this beautiful? And these are a bunch of strips that are put together at an angle. So it's 180-degree arc here, an 180-degree arc there, and then sewn together along here. Isn't that striking? And the way that some of them are made to look like rods, square rods, really effective. I don't know who did this. These were the quilts displayed at Paducah. Now this, oh my gosh, is that beautiful or what? Whoever did that did an outstanding job. And this is more than a triptych. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. Oh, beautiful. Divide a scene into separate pieces. It gives it a little extra drama. This is so pretty. I can see why it got an award. That's a lot of applique work, ladies. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. Oh, I love that. Our Dolores did a quilt that reminds me of this, of a little girl sitting in a field with butterflies and flowers. Look at this. Let me enlarge this a little bit. There we go. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, here's a close-up of it. Another close-up. I can't imagine doing such complex. And here is the information on it. Whoops. Let me back up. Hold on. And I want to bring this up so you can see. Straw embroidery. Wow. That's really cool. Okay. Now, oh, look at this one. Isn't that amazing? Mm-mm-mm. Wow. It's a modern take on um, what looks like medieval religious paintings. That's really interesting. Oh, wow. Look at all those little strips. Oh, this is so cute. I love that. Grandfather and grandson. Isn't that wonderful? And that's named Nurture. That is terrific. So I will have to go to Dolores's site before next week and get some more downloaded. All right, here is Miss Jody's quilt block of the week. And I think she said next she has some applique work, and I think it's going to get put on these log cabin blocks. But Jody can help correct me if I'm wrong. That's lovely. And here it is. Applause, please. Woohoo! I love that. And I think the grunge fabric was the perfect choice, especially since it echoes the colors in the quilt. I love it. That is terrific. Way to go. I think it perfectly frames that work. What a great idea, too, Miss Jody. What a great idea. Okay, Miss Joni. We have Miss Joni's watercolor wash quilt. I told her I like hers better than mine. It's lovely. Bird, butterflies. I love her vines and leaves are cut. She fussy cut her fabric to perfection. Look at that. Look at these flowers. Look at this. Look over here. I mean, it just framed beautifully. And I love what that she used abstract colors for her sky. It's not sky fabric, but boy, does that make a statement. I love that. It's just soft and mellow. It's lovely. So way to go, Miss Joni. And your quilting is wonderful. Look at this quilting up here. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm very impressed, and I think you did an outstanding job. Beautiful. All right, let's see who is next. Uh, Mary. And Mary, I'm so happy she sent us a picture of her quilt with her in it. Yay. Here's her beautiful deck outside and her flowers that she's planted. Beautiful. Oh, this looks like a little purple lobelia and some maybe white phlox. I love how she has done with the spike. Oh, that looks like papyrus grass. That's really neat. So it's so funny. I might show these photos 2 or 3 times, but I see something different every time. This is a quilt she made back in the 90s, ladies. It's lovely, and I love her beagle that's sitting on it. Those beagles have those sweet eyes, don't they? But boy, they follow their noses. So be careful with the beagle. Oh, look at this. That's just lovely. And I'm hoping, did anything good happen with your cyclamen? I tell you, usually when those things sour, it's kind of impossible to bring them back, at least in my experience. I finally had to give up and realize that I that I don't grow cyclamen. There's something I do that they don't like. So, and they protest by just giving up and dying on me. I could not get any million bells this year. Now, I'm not sure if those are petunias or million bells, but I love million bells and I couldn't get any. The nursery was so picked over. Look at these calla lilies. They're beautiful. And look at this. This is our Mary. I love that she took a picture of her beautiful smiling face with her quilt. That is wonderful. And I love that it looks like she's got three-dimensional fluffy plants on here. Oh, she's got a rufous-sided towhee down here. I just love it. There's so much fun things to look at. That is wonderful. I've got to figure out how she made those fuzzy grasses. That what a great idea. So way to go, Mary. Way to go. All right. Yep, that made me so happy when I opened the email and said, "Ah, there's our Mary." So here is Miss Marcia's. She is the crochet queen. I love that wonderful, wonderful pouch. Then she made a shawl with this beautiful thread. I love the metal flecking in it. So way to go, Miss Marcia. That's our Marcia Florum. Now, let's see. And our Marcia Hahn. I am so impressed. She did a painting. And I'm going to show you a close up first. This cat's name is Tommy Bahama. Whoops. I think that is so cute. And so Tommy Bahama, and it's a friend's cat, and she painted it watercolor. Do you know how hard it is to do watercolor, people? And she did a beautiful job with this. And here it is from a distance. I would say this is a total success. And she's going to treasure that picture of her cat. So, you guys, you are so talented. I love, love, love it. Isn't that wonderful? So, way to go. She wasn't sure, she said, if she could actually paint it, but I think she did phenomenally. It's wonderful. So, way to go, Miss Marsha Hahn. Okay. Then me, I have a few little pictures here. Here is Mark when he's at the beach. There is my sweetheart. And he loves his weeks away. I tell you, he's still getting well, though. That ride home in the cold rain, ooh, it did a number on him. That's my sweetheart. Then he looks out his hotel room and across the sound. And oh, I told him, okay, I'm ready. I'll live there. I will. Isn't that beautiful? And then here was a great blue heron down at the edge of the tidal water. And a sound is a tidal strip. It's not on the ocean side. It's just slightly inland, and it's where the fresh water meets the salt water, what they call brackish water. This is okay. When he goes away for the week, I get out my huge cast iron skillet and I make a ton of what I grew up eating that I call perlo. And I finally saw in a book by Pat Conroy, he mentioned perlo. I was so excited because everybody I talk about perlo, they have no idea what I mean. And it's onion, bacon, tomato paste, and rice. And it's yummy. Lots of ground pepper. Yummy. Then I make, in here, I sauteed some spinach and I had hamburger patties with my favorite homemade dressing. And whoops, I'm sorry, let me go back. I want to find the other picture that goes with that so you'll see what I do. Here it is. And so I broiled hamburgers for the week and then made this huge skillet of perlo. And each day I had a different vegetable. That was still part of the first day where I had that wonderful spinach. And I ate a whole bag of spinach because it cooks down to just pretty much nothing. All right, now let's go back. But I eat the same dinner all week and I'm so happy to do it. I've always said that when it's my turn to go, bury me with a skillet of perlo. I'll be happy. Here is my son, Christopher, and his son, Russell. And they went to Disney World this week. So there he is at a Star Wars exhibit. And he's a huge Star Wars fan. So I made sure to send him a message on Friday. Oh, yesterday, and said, "May the fourth be with you." And so that is so cute. And then here is Chris and his wife Nikki, and this is Donnie, and that's Russell, and they're at the Star Wars part of the park. That is awesome. He said it was very stressful having two little ones at Disney World. Let me bring this picture. They're at the Toy Story. I love the movie Toy Story. But here's the Toy Story exhibit. I love that. Looks like they had a great time. Okay, next photo. Oh, my daughter's dating someone that's in this band. So, how fun is this? Becky went to see one of their little concerts. I don't want to say the word is gig, but I didn't want to sound funny saying gig, but that just means they're performing somewhere. All right. And then here is my Becky and my daughter Becky and my granddaughter Charlie. They went to a concert, and I'd love to be able to tell you who they went to see. Hey, hush. I'd love to tell you who they went to see, but I've already forgotten who it was. But they had a great time. I guess it's Hoosier, and they had a great time. I don't even know who that is. Okay, then my daughter Katie, she had her birthday a month ago, and so I sent a a shaker to put the flour on top of sourdough bread, and my daughter sent her the razor blade cutter thinger that you use to make the cuts in it, and she makes wonderful sourdough too. And I think they make it from the actual They call them mothers, the actual flower base starter. That's a lot of work way. I sent her this frog. When she was little, a man gave her a doorstop. Family friend gave her a doorstop, and it was full of rice. So it was very heavy, and she was 2 years old. So I worried about her holding it. So I took out the rice and put stuffing in it. She hated it. She would not hold it anymore. So this year for her birthday, she found another green frog, and I got it for her birthday. So that's my Katie. And then her son, now let me turn this around, did this thing where you can get paint by number portraits from photographs. This is her dog Buford, and her son gave this to her for Christmas. Isn't that wonderful? So he's getting up in years, and that's going to be a wonderful keepsake for her. She's doing a great job too. Then this is her peony bush, and it's loaded with blossoms, and I can't wait. That's my favorite flower, and she's going to bring them to the lake house. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see them. All right. Then she sent me this picture, and let me make sure I didn't. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't accidentally skip. Do you see those? They are a light purple. They are, and she's on the eastern shore. So they are these light purple trees that are called Polonia. Now, most people consider them to be weeds. And I was looking out the window to see if mine are coming back this year. We always, oh, yep, they are good. They're only 2 feet tall right now. But we hack ours back every year. And because when they come up, they have huge 2 and 3 foot leaves, giant leaves on them. But some people consider them a weed, and you'll see them along the highway. But in Japan, they are a very valued hardwood. So, but they're pretty fast growing. And if you let them get old enough, they'll have furry lavender leaves on them in the spring. So I love that she sent me that, because unfortunately, I don't have any that are that big. I don't let them get that big anymore. I only have a one volunteer, and I trim it. And here, you have to have pretty good space for them because they grow fast. This is Melanie's folder, and you remember her bee mug rug. How cute. I love mug rugs. I don't drink coffee or tea, but I like them because they're quilts in a size that are easy to manage and easy to handle. Her Easter quilt. And then, boy, we've been talking about this whole storm at sea thing. And she showed 2 totes with the storm at sea block. Oh, no, that's right. This one was a pineapple quilt. Pardon me. This is a pineapple. The other is Storm at Sea. So she got everybody excited, and now we can't wait to work on Storm at Sea this summer. I give free classes every July because, July is a hot month and no one wants to be outside, and I love teaching classes. So that's what I do. And any of you who want to join the free class, just let me know. And my email is ourtimetoquilt@twc.com. And we will invite you. It's done in a format that's like Zoom called Jitsi. And that way you don't have to type to talk. You can just talk, and you can either post your live photo so we can see you, or you don't have to, but we will teach um, classes for 4 hours each day, and you come and go as you please. And if you can't make it, um, we can give you the private link because we record all of them. So we want everyone to have an opportunity. This is a wonderful Bargello quilt by Polly Thompson, and she is so good at this. And I just love little bit of a sandy peach color and ocean colors. I think it's beautiful. I always love seeing her pictures when she puts these on the wall because I get to see parts of her lovely home. Look at that. I love it. That we taught Bargello was last year's class, and that was a lot of fun. I'm not sure when she did her Bargello, but we did it as a class last year. And then I finally went back and tried to find a couple of the missing Susan Smith quilts. So here are, that's like a trip around the world with big blocks. She finished her bamboo quilt. This is a bear claw quilt with actual fussy cut pictures of bears. And oh, this is wonderful. This looks like a goose chase, but I'm trying to remember. I'm sure it has a name that I have forgotten. But isn't that great? And this, oh, I love the circles in this and those fabrics. Look at the cute dinosaurs. Oh, boy, I should make one of those for my grandsons. And then here is a cute Christmas ornament, a mitten, and a wonderful star quilt. I love this owl quilt. Whoops, did I have that star quilt twice? And here is a quilt for Nikki. I think she made this when she went to a retreat. And I love these wonderful applique blocks. So I think, let me see. Oh, and don't forget this wonderful, very ornamental, beautiful pincushion. Okay, so that was Miss Sue Smith. And then Miss Vicky, um, I kept this wonderful patriotic quilt that she made here. I think that is just lovely. And that is our show and tell for today. So don't forget, if you would like to share some work you've done, let me get ready and type my email address so you won't forget. Second, let me come back to you. I saw the screen go down. I always get a little panic, like, no, I don't want to lose them yet. So, okay. You know what? You're probably right. Oh, I'll have to tell her to save it. Well, she paints over it. But isn't that's a good idea? I didn't think about that. My email address is ourtime2quilt@twc.com. And you can join our Groups IO, a free group that we've started so we can keep chatting after the show is over. And or if you want a certain pattern, I have patterns for the Dahlia quilt I'd be happy to share with you. In fact, after Thursday night show, I got 3 requests for the pattern. I was very happy to share that. I do love that. So if I make it, then I'll gladly share it with you. All right. Any questions? Anything that you have? I tell you, there's nothing better. I had a woman write and say she's rescheduling her life so she has more time for crafting and quilting and artwork. And I totally agree. I, I love having time to do, to just to give my creative soul its voice. All through our lives, we're busy raising children and working and taking care of the house and cooking, and who knows? But now, this is my time. And if I don't use it to good advantage, guess whose fault that is? Only mine. So, yes, I have learned to let a few dust bunnies build up. They're not going to hurt anything. They're going to be there waiting for me. And every single day, I take time to do my art. And I think it's wonderful. So, I know. Isn't there a lot of talent in this group? I love it. And when I finish show and tell, I can't wait to go and do, it really gets me excited about the next thing. What am I going to be working on next? And right now, I'm actually looking forward to doing thread sketching with this Dahlia. I'm just very happy with this Dahlia. I tell you what, the first thing I'm going to have to do is use my invisible thread to stitch this thing down. Every time I roll it, something pops up. So that is the first thing. I use a monopoly, not a nylon, because nylon's too stretchy and it tends to snap on you. But I use a monofilament polyester made Superior Threads, YLI. There are some real good ones out there. I put a lightweight white or whatever thread, probably white or light gray, but a lightweight thread in the bobbin, and I can just go. Now, just remember, it always works better if your monofilament is standing up. If you don't have a stand up thread spool on your machine, then get something. You can buy pretty inexpensively thread stands, because that really helps it. Because if the way it's wound on a spool, by pulling it off this way, it gets hung up, and if it snaps, it'll break. So they're happiest standing up. So I've heard some people put it in a mug, but I'm just, knowing me, it would still get wound on itself and fly out of the mug. So, any questions before we go today, y'all? Yep, and don't forget about um, Quilt Squirrel. All right, everybody. Think I think we've covered everything, and it's time for me to go up and get more things done. Yep, time to get more stuff done. So I'm a busy girl right now, and I apologize, but there's a time limit. I am going to love June. I'm going to be the biggest slug in June. But take good care of yourselves. And I always say this, but I really do believe in this, that as women, we make the world go round and we make the good things happen. So please take time out of your day to do something special just for you, because you can't take care of others unless you first take care of yourself. All right, everybody, have a great week. I will see you Thursday after this Thursday's show. Then I'm going to take a break for a couple of Thursdays. And don't forget, I'll be here this Thursday, but then Sunday, I'm going to take the time off with my daughter. So I'll be thinking about you. If I figure out how to hold an alternate day show, I will let you know, and I will make a placeholder. But take good care of yourself. Happy birthday to Marsha's Dan. Y'all take care. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.